Right, listen, we've been talking a lot about loot boxes recently, and I even feel like I've said that exact sentence a few times by now. But this is the good bit now. This is where all that talking pays off. Because those loot boxes are going. I'm telling you, Australia wants to shut it down, Belgium wants to shut it down, America, part of it, wants to shut it down. The EA are in trouble. This is it now. The dominoes are falling. It's happening.
Just the other day, the Belgian Gambling Commission announced they would launch an investigation into loot boxes and the potential harmful effects they could have on people with gambling addictions or even children. On Tuesday this week, not even a full week after the Gambling Commission announced their investigation, the internet went crazy with the word that the investigation was already over. The results were in, we were told, loot boxes are gambling and should be banned. Case closed. Well, not quite. According to French news outlet RTBF, the Belgian Gambling Commission has not yet declared loot boxes to be gambling. In an article under the badly translated headline, "No, Belgium did not qualify Battlefront 2 loot boxes as a game of chance," the site said it, quote, contacted Etienne Marique, the chairman of the Gaming Commission in the House, who completely denies this statement. No conclusions were reached on the ongoing investigation in Battlefront 2 and Overwatch. No final decision has yet been taken.
We'll get into exactly what has happened in a second, but this is the internet just kind of quickly reacting to some badly translated stuff. And don't blame all these games journalists and stuff for jumping the gun on this one. Google Translate is difficult to understand, but I think what's happened here is someone from the commission has said something, and then everyone's gone, that's it, that's the final verdict, nice one, job done, and moved on. But that's not
yeah, exactly. That's the problem with the media. That once someone says one thing, everyone else cottons on to this one thing. If that initial source is wrong, then everybody's wrong. But it's lucky that we've had enough time to be able to do the actual research required to be able to give you the true news. No fake news here. So, where did all this news come from? Speaking on behalf of the Belgian Gambling Commission, Belgian Minister of Justice Koen Geens said, quote, "The mixing of money and addiction is gambling. Mixing gambling and gaming, especially at a young age, is dangerous for the mental health of the child. We will certainly try to ban it." Geens also said he would like to ban any type of in-game purchases where players don't know what they're getting throughout the entirety of Europe. But that process will take some time. So, although this isn't the confirmation that we wanted and that we so really wanted about being regulated or precursor to being regulated, he's saying the right things. These are the things we want to be hearing. There's a strong indication that it will be deemed as gambling from the Belgian Gambling Commission going forward. So it's not all like bad news. It looks like it's still going that way anyway.
It's basically this guy's gone, oh yeah, this is definitely gambling. These guys, yeah, we're going to get this banned in Europe. And then his bosses or whatever have gone, well, hang on, yeah, we're not quite ready to make a statement on this yet. The investigation is ongoing. It looks like it's going in the right direction, like Gareth says, the right direction for us anyway, yeah. And yeah, don't worry, there's still plenty of more good news going on in the world. This is a worldwide thing now, so let's look at the other stuff that's happened. But it doesn't stop there, because the dominoes are falling. The Australian province of Victoria also announced they consider loot boxes to be gambling under their current definitions. Unfortunately for now though, they may not be able to take action because of jurisdiction laws. A user on Reddit made a post detailing their correspondence with the Victorian Commission for Gambling and Liquor Regulation, where they asked if loot boxes are considered gambling in Australia. An analyst for the gambling regulator responded saying, quote, "Your research and suppositions on the matter are correct. What occurs with loot boxes does constitute gambling by the definition of the Victorian legislation. Unfortunately, where the complexity arises is in jurisdiction and our powers to investigate."
But that's not nearly the end of it. The biggest and most damning criticism from lawmakers to emerge in the past day or so has in fact come from the US. US legislator and Congressman Chris Lee of Hawaii's 51st District held a press conference announcing the states will be launching an investigation into EA for their implementation of loot boxes in Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's right, a US congressman held a f***ing press conference about loot boxes. And Lee specifically called out EA and Battlefront 2 in the press conference, calling their actions predatory, before making this quite spectacular quote.
"This game is a Star Wars themed online casino designed to lure kids into spending money. It's a trap."
That is a hell of a line. That's the kind of thing that knobheads like us have been saying for a few weeks. This is a US congressman who said it in a press conference about loot. Just think about what's happening here. Think about the words that this guy said, what that could mean. EA, you're in f***ing trouble. Disney's not going to be happy with this. Let's finish the voiceover before we go into it though. Lee went on to say, quote, "These kinds of loot boxes and microtransactions are explicitly designed to prey upon and exploit human psychology in the same way casino games are so designed. This is especially true for young adults who child psychologists and other experts explain are particularly vulnerable. These exploitative mechanisms and the deceptive marketing promoting them have no place in games being marketed to minors, and perhaps no place in games at all." Another US representative compared loot boxes in games to cigarette companies marketing to kids. Representative Sean Quinlan said, quote,
"We didn't allow Joe Camel to encourage your kids to smoke cigarettes, and we shouldn't allow Star Wars to encourage your kids to gamble."
Jesus Christ. They're saying some things here. They're really saying some things.
Strong language there, real.
It is.
I can't help but feel that the Belgian Gambling Authority started all these dominoes falling, right? Because that's last Thursday they came out and the headlines were, "We're looking into gambling in games." And that's when the call happened with Disney. Obviously it woke Disney up and they're like, "Oh shit, what's going on here?" They phoned EA. EA were like, "Oh, we're pulling microtransactions." And then everyone else apparently now is cotton onto it. Hawaii, Victoria, the Netherlands are also investigating into it. There's talk that the French regulator's been talking about it too. Everyone's talking about it now. And I mean, I can't help but think that we've got Belgium to thank for it.
The fact that Disney own the Star Wars IP and they've given it to EA, and EA basically make all the Star Wars games now. A huge consequence of this is that Disney kind of decide, hang on a minute, you've done a fucking bad job here. We're going to do something else with these Star Wars games and see what happens. Because EA have not only made some mistakes and made some bad games or something, they've actually gotten really bad publicity for the Star Wars IP just before a fucking main series Star Wars movie comes out. Episode 8 is around the corner. And then they've completely it for the PR for that Star Wars brand, at least amidst people who play video games. Star Wars Battlefront 2 was supposed to be a promotional tool for that movie, at least in part. And it's just the complete opposite. And there's going to be consequences. There is definitely going to be consequences for EA now, directly from Disney. The funny thing about Disney is that South Park made that joke like years ago of you know, Mickey Mouse kicking the shit out of the Jonas Brothers or something because, you know, Disney's in charge. Disney says what happens. It is obviously true to some extent because it's happened right before our eyes. Bob Iger phoned up Andrew Wilson and said, "You f***ed it, mate. Sort this out right now," and they've had to. Now look where we are. This is moving very, very quickly.
I think it was exactly 9 weeks ago to this day that we first mentioned this as a big problem, the way that gaming is becoming gambling. I think the name of our video was called. And ever since then, we've been trying to drive home to people in as many videos, as many opportunities as we can, that this is not acceptable. And another thing to note as well is this isn't just EA and Battlefront. This was investigations into Overwatch and the loot boxes in Overwatch, which are purely cosmetic. Now, the words that they use in these authorities, they encompass all of that cosmetics too. So whether you think that cosmetic loot boxes are fine because they don't affect the game, that is not what's at issue here. What's at issue here is that these have a detrimental effect and they take advantage of vulnerable people and kids. Obviously, Overwatch and the loot boxes in Overwatch fall into that category, whether you like that or not.
Yeah, so let's tie this up. This is like, what, the 30th in a long line of loot box videos that we've done. This is obviously the direction we want it to be going in. This is going to have repercussions. Obviously, other publishers are going to look at what's happening to EA and go, "Fucking hell no, we don't want any of that, thank you very much." This is going to have a huge effect on the industry at large, I think, and just keep an eye on what happens next. Like we've said like 5 times in this video already, the dominoes are falling. We're in the middle of this right now. This isn't the end of it. This is going somewhere, hopefully for the better for the games industry, and we needed some of this to happen, and it's happening. That's cool.
This video is obviously too short to go into great detail about what this might mean for the future of the gaming industry, but we will be discussing about that in future. Let us know what you think the ramifications are down in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new around here. There's another video to watch right about there on your screen. Support us on Patreon if you're awesome. We'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.